Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. So Mike Krieger over at libertyblitzkrieg.com says it's time to question the modern nation-state model of governance. I totally and completely agree with Mike here. The nation-state model has outlived its usefulness. A lot of people preach nationalism. I get it. I get why. I get how globalism has put a bad taste in everybody's mouth, because it's certainly not the type of globalism that benefits you and me. It's the type of crony globalism and crony capitalism that plagues us, reduces our standards of living, and also makes these uber wealthy even more wealthy and transfers wealth from the lower and middle class to the uber rich. And so we have to question this model, and perhaps there is better ways to do it. He writes, I typically try to avoid news on Sundays because I spent much of yesterday in complete awe of the extraordinary strength and fortitude of the Catalan people in the face of totalitarian violence from the Spanish state against citizens attempting to vote in a peaceful referendum. Now, a little history on Catalan. They have been trying to separate from Spain for a very long time. We're talking hundreds of years. The Catalanian people have been just absolutely trying to secede from Spain, and they just get thwarted every single time. The last time there was any sort of progress towards that was 1931, and that's basically where Catalan was given a lot more, let's say, autonomy within Spain, but they weren't given their sovereignty. And it's been a long time since then, and some bad feelings have been fomenting. And so they go and they hold a referendum, 90% vote in favor of independence. And what a crackdown. I mean, you talk about, could you imagine if this happened for Brexit? People getting beat with billy clubs, sprayed with pepper spray and rubber bullets, over 500 injured. Over 500 injured for a peaceful vote. These people didn't raise a hand to the police, and they were beat down. Now, he writes specifically, I believe humanity is reaching a point in its evolution, both from a consciousness perspective as well as a technological one, where people begin, or where we're actually beginning to increasingly question many of our silly contemporary assumptions about how governance should work. The primary one is this absurd notion that a nation state should be seen as a permanent structure of political governance, which only becomes dissolvable in the event of a violent revolution or war. Now, when it comes to great leaps in human progress, a crucial component to lasting change is convincing enough people that a particular way of organizing human affairs is outdated and harmful. He says, I think if we take a step back and we look at how people are governed across the world, there are very few places where people feel they live in societies in which they exert any sort of genuine political self-determination. Because we just don't. Even here in the United States, the old adage is leaders are selected, not elected. And here we see the same thing, folks, whether it's in the U.S., the EU, Europe. It's gotten so bad. Look at the EU. Here's a great example, right? Nationalism, they took that, shoved it to the side in favor of crony globalism. Then they create the European Union, in which representatives from the European Union are appointed. They're not elected. They're appointed. So you lose just that much more of your self-determination and basically become slaves of an aristocracy that just goes ahead and appoints these people to positions. You're not going to get a situation where people are given the power and ability to determine their own course. It's not going to happen. Not willingly. Certainly not by the powers that shouldn't be. No, 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 no. That's the reason why, from a technological perspective, in certain regards, where we can have the most impact on life, we've seen horrible stagnation of technology. For example, power distribution and generation. We've had for well over 100 years the power to pull energy from the vacuum and zero-point energy. We've had the ability to do that for well over 100 years. They shelved that because you can't control people if they have limitless energy that they don't have to pay for. You know, you take a look at if we had limitless energy, then the focus then could be on energy matter conversion so that you could, you know, the Star Trek replicators that you used to see now become a reality, and now you don't have to worry about food because you're replicating food. You know, this kind of thing has enormous impact on human life. And you're not going to see it simply because they would lose a lot of their ability to control you if you were afforded this amount of freedom. So they're not going to let you do that. And this whole idea of getting rid of the nation state isn't going to work because they control you in this way. They control the elections, and then they control you. So Mike Krieger's absolutely right. It is way outdated, and we have way evolved from this type of governance. But you'll never see anything good actually come because they've made people apathetic through the culture of convenience and through promoting a culture of self-centeredness. And also, they aren't going to put anybody in there that's going to make any sort of difference to be able to bring about legislation that might change things in this way or for the better. So the only way that I see this happening is through a violent uprising. You know, Kennedy said it best. When you make peaceful revolution impossible, you make violent revolution inevitable. Only this time, I would prefer if we don't have a revolution. Revolution, of course, meaning one 360-degree rotation. I don't want to go back to where we started. I don't want to start over and or even go to a similar system only to have it end up where we are again. The Founding Fathers did that. Look where we are now. But what I would like to see is change. Come out of this cycle and start something new, start something fresh, something that's never been done before. You know? And in that case, let's have a new country, anarchia, where people can be what they want to be, who they want to be, live in peace, live in harmony. And guess what? I'm telling you, if we try it, people will truly sing Kumbaya. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day, everybody.